Hey, another one in progress now. The Jake Silman Show. We are back. I am fucking flustered. Jack is fucking tired. He's back from Florida. I'm back from fucking fighting the internet. We're going to start off right now. If you fucking listen to this podcast, folks, go to my Instagram at the comedian Jake. Just like a bunch of the videos and share a bunch of the videos. Find one or two of the videos and just share them, because currently I am in the bad boy doghouse. Nothing is getting seen. The numbers have tanked. So just share some shit. It doesn't really matter. Just say, go share it with your people who don't follow me. And maybe we'll get out of that doghouse, because that's all that matters is the internet. So you have to fucking be a player on it. Or if it doesn't work out, I'll delete all that shit and I'll be a ghost, dude. So it is what it is. But yeah, we're having trouble over there. And or if you know anybody who works for Instagram, tell them to fucking help your boy out. Because it's looking rough. It's looking rough. I even posted a picture of my fucking dog to try to cheat it. Tried to post a picture of a couple pics of the dog to cheat it back into the good boy status, but it did not work.
That's like in school when the teacher isn't reading the essay, and then you remember kids would like write the essay, and then in the middle they'd write "Nobody is reading this." And
damn, what school did you go to?
I remember hearing about that. I don't know if it was at my school or if I just heard it, but just sneak
I remember
it in there.
I remember 2.5 line spacing, so you could get to that 3 pages quicker. Or you would fuck the margins just a little bit, so it'd be narrower and longer. Anything to not do work, basically, was the motto of most students. Yeah, that's where we're at, folks, is we're begging these podcast listeners to go like some shit so an evil fucking equation can tell me I'm a good boy, give me a nice little peck on the cheek, because right now my bottom is being spanked. I'm being knelt over by the parent Instagram, and they're spanking my bottom. So tell daddy that I want to be a good boy. Tell daddy I want to be a good boy and let him kiss me on the cheek again and tussle my hair and play catch with me. Because that's what all the cool kids are doing. They're fucking having the internet say, you're a good boy. And I want the love of my fucking parent company. That's what I want. But, yeah, hope everyone's good. Shout out to the good people of Denver. I just got back from Denver, Colorado a few days ago. Had such a good time. Thanks for everybody who put me on their shows and came out and watched. I know Jack's friend group came out. I met a few of them.
Oh, yeah.
They might be listening right now.
The Camels.
The Camel. Why are they called the Camels? Is that their actual last name?
No, it's not, but it was just...
Are they Sig boys? Do they have Joe Camel? Are they like Sig smokers?
No, but I think it was Casey, Mark, and Eric, and then I think Mark's girlfriend came out, Lauren.
Yeah. I met 2 dudes and a girl. I don't think I met the other guy who you said came out.
He said he said hi to you, but he didn't talk to you that much. But I think Mark and Eric, the twins, talked to you.
They did.
Yeah,
I remember them. Well, thank you everybody who came out. We had a fun time in Denver, did a bunch of shows, actually made a little bit of money, which is nice. And, yeah, comedy was fun again. When you leave New York, comedy can be fun, apparently. When you're in New York, it's just groveling and, just clawing, just hanging, just being around. So fun to leave, fun to not be around 8 million people. I texted a buddy of mine. I was like, I think the reason we're in New York doing comedy is to appreciate when we leave. I think that was like that is so far the main lesson, is appreciating when you're not in New York. So I had a great time. Thanks for everybody. I also took some mushrooms on my day off.
Ooh.
Watched the watched the halftime show, watched Rihanna's halftime show up in the mountains on mushrooms, and hadn't done that in a while. Had not done mushrooms, I don't think, in like 7 to 8 years. So it was a fucking throwback jam. This was a fucking retrograde jam, dude, that I was back in. I thought I was done with drugs, but I was back.
The first time I ever saw you do comedy and how I found out about you was you were featuring for, I think, Joey Diaz or maybe at Helium, and you had a bit about doing mushrooms in the park on a date.
Yep. I think that was the last time I did it. That's how, I mean, that was years and years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I did, if I remember correctly, I mean, maybe I've forgotten a time in between them, but the last time I did mushrooms was I met a girl outside of an open mic that I hosted, I believe, in Portland, Oregon. I used to host this open mic, legendary open mic at the Lamp, which was the bar attached to the Aladdin Theater. And which I have another story about that after this, but I was outside and the Aladdin Theater had an event that night, and I was checking out this bike that was locked up outside the Aladdin. It was made out of bamboo. And I was, really into bikes, and I was looking at it. I was like, damn, this is crazy. And then a girl came up, and it was her bike, and we started talking about the bike, and I started asking her about what the event was, and it was some kind of like quasi-Christian spiritual talk or some shit, which was definitely not my jam at all.
You don't say.
I was just a fucking degenerate hosting an open mic. So it was a very weird pairing. We started talking and it was like light flirting maybe, but it was mostly just like a real nice conversation with a person. We were like talking about a lot. It was one of those, you ever have one of those conversations where you don't expect it to be much? I mean, at some point I was just a creepy guy looking at her bike. She probably thought I was going to steal her bike, but we ended up just like falling into a pretty deep conversation about whatever, life and shit. I think she was going through some shit, which was probably why she probably was just looking for somebody to talk to. And so I don't remember exactly how it came out, but we started talking about mushrooms, and she had never done them before. And she kind of offered, like, she was like, would you like to do them with me for my first time? That was kind of like her play.
Okay.
And had I thought about it for a little bit longer, I would have probably said no, because I didn't know this girl at all. And it was like not a good idea to be doing like heavy hallucinogenic drugs with strangers that you don't know. But
debatable, but sure.
I mean,
no,
have you done that?
Oh yeah, of course.
With strangers?
Yeah.
Just people you don't know?
Yeah. But I know what you mean. Sorry to interrupt.
No, I'm just, I don't know. I don't know.
Wait, pause for a second. So let me just get this straight. You're good with mushrooms, but a cup of coffee makes you freak out.
I've never had a cup of coffee, so I don't know. A weed would make me freak out.
Okay. But you've never had coffee. Okay, so what was it? Is it a beer that makes you
beer
feel all weird and freaked out? Okay. But mushrooms, you're
depressed. Yeah. Mushrooms, I'm okay.
Interesting. Wow. Okay.
I can go to the edge, but I can't stay in the shallows, my man.
Okay.
I can't. If I'm in the shallow end, it's fucking me up. But if I can go into the deep end. So this girl makes this kind of offer, and I go, fuck it, sure. And this was in my late 20s probably. So I for sure had a bunch of friends in Portland who were dealing, growing much. Like, it was not hard to get mushrooms.
Friends who are mushrooms.
Yeah, friends who are absolute and true mushrooms. So it was I probably offered that I could do it. I could get them, I was probably just like, yeah, I can get you these. Let's do them. So I remember I got these mushroom chocolates from a buddy of mine, and I met up with this girl extremely late at night. I remember in, what's the park with the water reservoirs in it? Mount Tabor.
Oh, yeah.
I met her, but it was late as fuck, I remember.
Good place
like,
to get stabbed.
Exactly. Like, it was weird. Again, it was another weird thing. It was like, all right, girl, like, you don't know me at all. So we met one time outside of a bar, and the next time you're meeting me is you're asking me to meet you at a dark park late at night to do drugs. Like, this is not the move, girl. This ain't the fucking move. Like, I don't think you should trust people that much. But she did, and I'm a trustworthy guy. I'm not, I had no ill intent towards this young gal. So we took them, and they were extremely strong. These were probably some of the strongest I'd ever taken, and I've done them a fair amount. So I had like a pretty good idea of what mushrooms were, and these were extremely strong. And I remember we were sitting up on the hill, and just like, that hill, this is for Portland, Oregon listeners, but Mount Tabor has this hill, and you look out and you have like kind of a panoramic view of the city, because Portland is built off of the river. So it starts at the river and goes up, so the west side of the city just goes up this hill. So at night at Mount Tabor, you're seeing all the city lights, you're seeing this neighborhoods and some of downtown and shit. So it just looked like it just looked like an alien had built a computer. Like, it was so, it was just fucking mind blowing, I was just really tripping hard. But then it got like weird, because we're sitting there and it's a summer night. So I don't think school was in session. I think it was during the summer. So I think like the school was out for summer break, and we saw like this like kid like run. And this was way down, but like he like ran. And he then started getting chased by like what looked to be hundreds of kids. Now, it probably was our brain, but it looked like it was about, 100 kids chasing him. And then it looked like there was like some type of fight. So who knows? Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was just fucking our brains freaking us out. Maybe the kids were just having fun. But it looked like a fucking fight. So there was like, if you've ever done drugs, one little thing can change the whole mood, the trajectory. And this definitely did, because it put both of us, it was tension. There was tension in the air. It was no one was at ease all of a sudden, because we think we're seeing like violence,
Yeah.
And this girl had never done this before. So we were like, all right, let's like walk away. Like, we're going to walk. Like, so we like kind of walked, journeyed up the hill, kept talking. And then at some point, I don't know what we were talking about, but out of kind of nowhere, in her mind, I guess, but in my mind, it was a natural part of this conversation. But I just brought up the Holocaust and how bad it was or something. And I'm telling you, dude, this girl started crying immediately. She started like bawling about the Holocaust. And I'm trying to like comfort her. I'm like, yo, it's fine. Like, it's over. The Holocaust is done. And she's just crying hard and is like, and I'm like, no, like, it's okay. Like, don't worry, And she's like not really letting off the fucking tears. So,
oh man,
it was no going back. There was no going back. So she's like, can you just call me an Uber? Like, can you please just get me home? I was like, okay. And like, cell phones and mushrooms truly should not exist on the same plane. Whenever I usually do mushrooms, I don't even bring my phone, because it's just not, they're not compatible. Like, it's simply, you shouldn't be dealing with like advanced technology that has a bunch of information that you may or may not want to see, numbers, fucking any of that shit. So I usually am just very much like, go to the woods, technology stays behind, you fucking do our thing, and then we come back into the real world. But with this, I kind of had to, because we had to meet up and shit. And dude, I remember just like kind of like punching my phone. Like, I had no clue how to operate it. Like, I was just fucking smacking it, trying to get this fucking Uber app to work. It couldn't tell if it had worked. I mean, I just remember kept going like, I don't know if this fucking thing is working, you know, but she was panicking that I had to just kind of be like, no, it's good. Everything's fine. We're getting you a car. And we go down to the hill where this fucking dude is supposedly supposed to meet us, I think. And this guy in a car rolls up and he just goes, hey, points to her, do you need a ride? But he never said he was with Uber.
Oh, man.
He never said, like, hey, I'm here for Jake or whatever. He just says, do you need a ride? And the girl, without any hesitation, goes, yes. And just kind of goes, I have to go. Turned to me and goes, I have to go. And she got in this dude's car. And I was just like so high that I didn't know what really was even like if I was not high, I'd be like, I would have checked. Well, I would have known how to work Uber, but I would have been like, wait, who are you? Like, you know. And I remember she just turns to me and she was just like, I have to go. She was clearly having a bad trip. The Holocaust, Hitler had fucked up her brain. I had fucked up her brain. And she just kind of like gave me like a half hug and like ran into this dude's car and like dipped and like just like left me there. Like also just was like, deuces, I'm gone. And
wow.
I remember I was just like, damn, dude, that's like crazy. And I remember the next day being like, I don't know if I like should text this girl. Like it seems like like the romantic part of whatever potentially could have been there was dead, but more like safety. And I honestly, I don't think I did. I don't think I texted her. And the only reason I know she's made it and she's still alive is because like months later, I saw her on the bus. She was in the front and I was in the back.
In the Nazi uniform?
Yeah, in a Nazi uniform. She had completely switched her position after mushrooms. But I remember she got on and I was like, all right, cool. She's alive. I'm not going to bother her. And I didn't acknowledge her. I didn't go up to her. I wasn't like, hey, good to see you again. I just was like, cool. I am glad that I know this girl is alive. And that was the last time I ever saw her. So my conscience was cleansed of any guilt. But
did the guy, maybe he thought you were a couple and were arguing and he was trying to be,
I don't know. I mean, we weren't like outwardly fighting. I mean, but it was a weird vibe for sure. Like the way he approached the situation and rolled up was not like kosher, I would say. But she was ready to dip. I remember I biked home, but I remember I sat on the hill for a while by myself, kind of in like awe, because I was like, what the fuck just happened? Like things were going pretty well. Like it was like we were having a good time, and then one comment kind of just flipped the entire script, and she was bawling.
Do you remember what the comment was? Like what was the context?
I just remember I feel like it was straight up something like, damn, wasn't the Holocaust like fucked up or something? Like it was not like, it was just stupid. And then I remember I biked home, or maybe I walked home. I don't remember. Biked or walked home, which was a minute for me. I didn't live super close to Mount Tabor. And I remember calling my buddy Aaron Klopfer, who was a Portland comic and now he's in Chicago. And I remember I was starting to get depressed, and he was like, Jake, you're the only dude I know who could do mushrooms and be depressed. And I was like trying to whatever, lay all my problems on him. So overall, not a great experience. And I believe that is the last time I did it. And this must have been like this had to be like 2015. So this was like 8 years ago. And then that was it.
Yeah, because it was right around that time when I saw that you do that bit.
Yeah. I did the bit. And I just remember because I know it was pretty quickly after I'd broken up with this girl. And I think we broke up in like 2015 or so. So yeah, I think it was around then. So yeah, it was like 8 years ago. And I hadn't done them since. And I did them this weekend. And lost my shit watching Rihanna on television. It was a lot. I don't know if did you see that shit?
No, I didn't. I was on a plane, but I saw the second half.
Okay.
I got to see the second and the end of the game.
Okay. Well, you saw, yeah. Dude, it was just I mean, it's so funny when you're on drugs and you're just like out of your mind. And then I rewatched the halftime show when I was sober and I was like, "Huh, that's what I was freaking out about." But yeah, it was pretty mind-blowing. It was pretty mind-blowing. I had to like mute the TV after her because I just couldn't handle the dudes talking about football anymore. Like, it was just like the game was on in the background where we were, but I was just like, I can't listen to these guys. Like, there's just too many talking heads and like, yeah. But then that game, the Super Bowl, got fucking crazy. So I was like high as shit, being like, yo, this game is out of fucking control. And just as my high was kind of getting more manageable is when the game pretty much ended, and they ended in such a pussy way that I became like a sports fan again when I was like, don't fucking slide, score so they, like I was just yelling at the TV. So even mushrooms were not strong enough for me to get over how upset. I wouldn't even give a shit about either of those teams. I was just mad that the game was ending this way when they were fucking neat taking a knee and then doing that field goal at the very end. But yeah, that was my Super Bowl Sunday. High as fucking balls. High as absolute fucking balls.
What made you freak out about the halftime show, and in what way did you freak out?
It wasn't like freak out, like scared. Just like I was like, okay, so if you guys saw the halftime show, it was Rihanna. She was dressed in red.
Yeah.
But then all these like the dancers were these like white sperm looking dudes. Like they were in all white, but for some reason, the thing that was making me laugh so hard was that you could see their faces still. So they would do these like close-up shots of the dudes' faces, and they're like smiling or making these weird faces at the camera. And I don't know, it hit me in a way that I was not prepared for, because they just were wearing these dumb sunglasses and like doing these stupid moves, or like crawling towards her and grinding and shit. And I don't know, it was just like, it was a lot to take in. And it's just like TVs are so bright. I mean, your eyes are fucking taking all this light. Like, it's just, it was a fucking lot. But yeah, good times, great times, And then I watched the rest of the game and got mad as the game ended in a way that I thought was lame. And then I had a fucking crucial ass headache because I was at like 7,000 feet elevation and I couldn't fall asleep for hours. So, whew, dude, it was like a fucking jackhammer inside of my head. And I was just like, still kind of that weird feeling when you like are like, okay, I'm not high anymore, but I have something in my system and I just want to pass out so I can like not be up. And bro, it was just like, I had to just pace the room for like a couple hours. I just had to like fucking walk around because I was just hurting so much. And then I fell asleep for like 4 hours, then I had to get up. But yeah, so strange day. And then after the next day, you just feel so dumb. Like which it's like kind of this peaceful feeling because you don't have any thoughts. You're just like, your brain is like it just worked so hard.
It's ringed out.
Yeah, like I had like nothing, which is great for me because I overthink. So it's kind of nice. Like that day after, you're just like, you're just dumb. Your tongue is kind of hanging out of your mouth. And you're just like, I don't know, dude, what's going on? And you're just taking in the world as a dumb dude, which is very nice. But yeah, it was dope. It was dope. It was good to do again. I hadn't touched the other realm in a long time, so it was good to get back to it. And you always think that you're gonna keep the lessons. You always think that you're gonna fucking like, oh, dude, I'm learning all this shit about me and the world, and you always think like you'll just be able to fucking plug that in your normal life, and it's almost all gone. It's almost all like gone. You never really remember.
Lesson number 1: don't bring up the Holocaust.
Don't bring up the Holocaust. It's for sure one lesson. But I feel like that was more her. I feel like a lot of people you could bring the Holocaust up and talk about how bad it was, or just talk about it. She like overreacted, I felt. But I don't know what was going on in her brain. I don't even think she wasn't Jewish. She was like Christian or whatever. So I don't even know what she was tripping about, but whatever. So don't bring up the Holocaust to certain people, but also, probably just don't go on a date on mushrooms, at least a first date. There was no reason for that,
Yeah.
Who knows? We could have been a happy couple. We literally, who knows? My whole life could have been changed if we'd gone on that date sober, but we didn't. So
it's awkward and uncertain enough without mushrooms.
Yeah, and there's like too many variables that could go wrong in mushroom world, especially somebody for their first time doing clearly very strong mushrooms with no, like, I don't know. What if I had freaked out and just left her alone? What if I just ran off into the woods and she was just left to fend for? I mean, there's just, I don't know. But hey, man, she's good. I don't remember her name. I don't even really remember what she looks like anymore. So hope you're doing well, whoever you are, whoever you were. Hopefully your whole life didn't change for the worse after that night. I mean, you were riding the bus the next time I saw you, so you couldn't have been doing that well, but neither was I, neither was I. Also in Denver, speaking of the lamp and that open mic, I don't know if I've told this story on the podcast, but I opened for this guy, Al Jackson, at the Denver Comedy Underground. And I met Al like around that same time I did those mushrooms with that girl because I hosted this open mic for like a year and a half or something in Portland. And one night or one weekend or week, basically, Hannibal Buress was doing like 5 or 6 like sold out shows at the Aladdin. He was just like really blowing up. And the mic was on a Tuesday and he had a show on a Tuesday. And after his show, him and his openers, one of whom was this guy, Al Jackson, who was there this past weekend in Denver, walked in during the open mic. So it was like Hannibal Buress, Al Jackson, this guy, Kevin Bozeman, and I think one other guy who was with them. And I remember the look on Hannibal's face when he was like, because they were clearly just trying to get a beer after their show. They had no intention of walking in on a fucking the lowest level of comedy.
Yeah.
But he walked in and he was just like, I just remember him looking around and being like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, because the mic was going, like they walked in when people were, like someone was on stage. So he was just like, oh God, I just wanted like to have a fucking drink after this show. And now I have to watch literally the worst version of my art, after just doing a great version of it, So, and of course, like everybody was like losing their shit because, normally it was an empty bar open mic, and now Hannibal Buress and his fucking comedian friends were there. And word quickly spread because all of a sudden the bar was packed. It went from an empty bar to like standing room only. And, I was trying to be cool. I didn't even approach them. I was kind of just like, hey, man, if they want to go up, they know they can. So I'll just let them be. So kind of like as more people got in there, it became kind of like a cool environment. Like people were probably going to have good sets because people were like stoked. So kind of one by one, like his openers came up to me like, hey, man, can I do some time? So I put up Kevin and I put up Al. And so all his openers had gone up and then Hannibal still hadn't. And I was like, look, he just did a couple shows. There's no reason for him to do it. But he finally kind of like, we met eyes and he kind of like motioned me over to the bar and he was like, hey, could I do like a few minutes? I was like, yeah, dude. Like,
no, sorry, we're full.
Clearly here to fucking see you, dude. So he goes up. I remember the bar in the theater, there was no wall dividing them. So because like that's how they sold their drinks at the Aladdin. So you could just leave and go right into the lamp. So I remember the first thing he did is he just turned around and looked at the empty lobby of the Aladdin. He goes, sorry, I'm just thinking of how cool that just was, and now why am I up here? Like, it was really funny, and he had a good set, and whatever. He got off stage, and I remember during his set, classic Portland. This girl came up to me, this open mic comedian who was never that funny, and she was kind of annoying. And she goes, "Dude, I have to go up after him. I have the perfect line. Like it's gonna crush." And I just first of all, the fucking hubris, I believe is the word. Like just the idea that you're like gonna follow a theater sellout act, a professional comedian who is selling out multiple shows at a 800, 600 person theater. You have somehow cracked the code of comedy to fucking crush after him at an open mic, not even at a fucking show, but at an open mic. And I was like, sure, yeah, you got it. Like, let's see it. And I remember she went up there, she had her fucking smug ass smile on, and she said this line, and it fucking flopped so hard. And she just had to sit up there and eat it. And she bombed her entire set because no one could give two fucks about what this dippy, white, pixie cut chick had to say after Hannibal Buress just fucking murdered. No one cares what whatever her uber clever line was. Dude, that's fucking, she had to like weave through multiple people to get to me. It was like, I have to go up after him. Please let me go. I'm going to crush. And I just was like, dude, the fact that you think you are, but I know you're not, of course you're going to go up. I want to see you fail. And she ate it so fucking hard and just had to sit up there for 3 minutes. And everybody knew that she thought she was the shit for 2 seconds and then fucking bit it. But, and then it was cool because then, people were just partying or whatever. And, I think Hannibal and them ended up going to a strip club and then it just returned to a shitty open mic. But Al Jackson, who I just performed in front of in Denver this weekend, I was telling him that story and he was cool and he got me tickets to the show the next day. He like put me on the guest list. So I got to go see the actual show, which was a lot of fun, him and Hannibal. And then Hannibal was like getting into like DJing. So they set up like an after party where Hannibal was the DJ at Dante's downtown, if you know that bar.
Yeah, Dante's Inferno.
So we went there and it was just this weird kind of empty after party where Hannibal was not really saying anything to people, but he was just up on stage in the DJ booth hanging out. Like, and now he's like fully into music. Now he has he goes on tour with a band. Al was telling me like that he still does comedy, but now he's like super into music and he raps and shit. So
really,
whole world. But yeah, I don't know. I never listened to his music. I didn't even know what he was really doing with his career anymore. But yeah, he said that Al had just been on the road with him. But anyways, all to say that comedy brings you to weird places, including mushrooms with random girls and Hannibal Buress open mics. And it's cool to see guys like, hey, I saw you 7 years ago when you did my shitty open mic when you were opening for Hannibal Buress in Portland. And now you and I are here in the same room. Like, comedy is cool in that way that you can fucking, just see those people over and over again for years. So, yeah, fun times in Denver. And now back here in the fucking heart of the beast, baby. The fucking grind zone, the meat grinder, where, now it's just hanging out, being a face in the crowd. Nothing going on. I did watch a show last night where one of the current SNL members dropped in and did a set. That was fun. And
which one?
This guy, James Austin Johnson, he's like their Trump and Biden guy now.
Okay.
Yeah. I think he got hired last season, but I talked to him for a while after the show because he's buddies with my friend Dave who was on it. So meeting SNL cast members, just, grinding, dude, just fucking being famous. Yeah. Jack, are you following this UFO news?
Not really. I'm aware of it, but I'm not really following it.
Don't you think that's crazy that everybody is just so in their own bubble now that we've shot down multiple UFOs and we're just like, yeah, well, whatever.
Just read the headline. Oh, crazy.
I truly believe that if Biden came out and was just like, look, I'm not lying. This is 100% real. We truly live in the Matrix, and your life is a complete simulation meant to just feed machines in the real world, we would be like, next, whatever, dude. I'm bored. Keep it moving. Like, I don't think everybody is so in their own bubble and exhausted by their own world that, like, really whatever they tell us now, we're just like, yo, is Uber Eats coming? Am I getting my fucking TikToks? You know, like, it's just like we got such a feed loop that it's just, I don't really, what is going to surprise us anymore, you know? I mean, dude, multiple mass shootings in the last day that, like, really have barely made a blip, bro. Like,
the Ohio train thing, nothing.
The train thing is fucking literally going to give probably lots of people cancer. And it's just like, yo, not in my neighborhood, so who the fuck cares, baby? Like, that train, and there's been multiple chemical spills in the last few days. There was a truck in Arizona that flipped over that they had to fucking, people had to put on like hazmat suits, you know, or just like evacuate for a couple days. That Ohio thing is absolutely insane. And yeah, and now we're shooting out multiple UFOs within a week. They were closing down like airspace over Montana, dude. Like, I mean, this is literally like how alien or disaster movies start, and we're just like, keep the channels flipping, baby. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's not like you can do anything. Like, what are you really supposed to do? Like, if it's a UFO, I just liked how I saw these senators being like, we need complete transparency on what's going on. I'm like, bro, even the most like, I love the government person ever would never believe that you're going to tell us the truth about what you're shooting. Like, this is not going to come back to us. We're not going to get the full story. I mean, It's so funny that these guys are like, I want to make sure that the American people know what we're doing in these skies. It's like, dude, we've already checked out because we know you're going to lie to us. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? We have zero belief that you guys, if you found alien life forms, there is no way that you're going to tell us about it. So we don't care anymore. We're just fucking moving on. You know, there's shit on my phone I can watch that's more real than what the fuck you're going to tell me about whatever this is, you know, whatever the fuck this is.
Yeah, it's like, what is caring about it going to do? I think is the attitude a lot of people have. It's just
about
like,
everything now.
Yeah.
About literally everything is like, what? Okay, if I care that the train derailed and some families got fucking fucked over and their dog died, or the fish are dying in the creeks, or they're gonna get cancer, like, what can I do? It's over, you know. The UFOs are here and they don't, you know, and they want us to fucking be their servants. What can I do? So, back to work. Go back to work. That's all we can do.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
The UFO thing is pretty. I mean,
multiple, dude. It's not even just like one. And it's just like these pilots are already like, yeah, we couldn't see how it was staying afloat. We have no idea where the propulsion system is. And this isn't the first time. I mean, now the Pentagon even has to go on record saying like there's UFOs out there. Like, pilots in the Navy see these things all the time. But, you know, what are you going to do? You're right. We can't fucking do it.
What do you think it is?
I don't think it's aliens. I just don't feel like aliens have these dope ass spaceships, but then can get fucking taken out by a fucking F-16. Like, that doesn't make no sense to me that they would be like, all right, we've traveled from a different dimension or a fucking different galaxy, but then we get caught by this basic ass human radar and we just get taken out by a fucking Sidewinder missile. The funniest part of this was that one of the ones they shot down, the guy missed, and the missile just landed at the bottom of like Lake Huron, and that cost us $400,000 because each one of those missiles cost $400,000. So he just fucking shot a blank, basically, that just like he didn't hit it target right. And they said like the mission just to shoot this down was like $1 million in taxpayer dollars just to do this shit.
I think just getting those planes off the ground is just to fly at all is like
right.
nearly that.
It's insane. So even when you're trying to shoot down a UFO, you're still costing us money. But yeah, I'm not. I think it's just either some other country shit that they're just putting up there, maybe to freak us out. Maybe they're just freaking us out now. Maybe they're like, dude, the Americans are gonna lose their shit if we just keep.
I don't understand like the technology of a spy balloon. Is that really what China would use to look at America? They've got satellites. They've got, TikTok.
They have TikTok.
Just mapping the entire country, seeing everything, facial recognition, all this like high-end stuff, and they're going to float a balloon with a camera over. That just doesn't make sense.
They said now that that China actually, it just got blown off course, and it wasn't ever supposed to go across the U.S. So they said that I remember reading a story that they said they tracked that balloon when it launched, so they knew about it the whole time. So I think it just like got blown off course maybe, but it definitely was. I don't know. I mean, who the fuck knows? That's the other thing, is who the fuck knows? We don't know. I don't fucking know shit, dude. I'm dumb as hell. I don't know anything.
I always think about this, like World War II time. This was a time when people were pulling carts with horses, and they would take ice from the mountains and put it in an ice box to refrigerate their food. Like that's what a lot of normal people were doing, at least in rural areas. Like there wasn't a lot of technology.
Right.
And at that same time, the government was splitting an atom to level a city in a metal ball delivered from a plane, like a completely unthinkable, unimaginable technology that they had, and they developed, they had, and they used when everyone else was freaking churning butter in a ceramic crock. So just extend that to now. Think about what they have. We can't even conceive of it. We can't even conceive of what's going on because we don't have the way to think about what exists.
Right. But we paid for it all. We paid for every one of it, baby. Yeah, dude. I don't know. Whatever is coming out, it's not. So just honestly, just checking out is like the most rational move anymore. Like it really doesn't make sense to get your shit all messed up because you'll never know. You could spend your whole life maybe getting a little bit of information, but as soon as you try to put it out, they'll kill you. So just, do your own thing, man. Just try to enjoy while you still got time. Because, I don't know, it would be fun if it was aliens. Even if it was bad aliens, it would at least, would be something interesting.
Maybe it would unite the human race.
Yeah. Could, either in all the technology that they disseminate, or if they're bad aliens, we finally get together. We have a common enemy. Nothing better than a common enemy. Maybe they just come down and say, you guys suck. Be funny if it was just a judgmental one. It was just like, no, we're not here to hurt you or help you. We're just looking at you guys. You guys are fucking trash, dude. You guys fucking blow dick. Nothing is cool about you. What's wrong with you? Get your shit together. And then they just dip. But yeah, I just don't buy that they're getting shot out of the air by us. If they're this advanced, I just don't buy it. So someone online I was reading, they were like, this is probably just us this is like the U.S. putting shit in the sky to shoot down to freak out the population.
The false flag.
Like it's like false flag shit. It's just like, and how do we know? We don't fucking know.
I mean,
we have no clue.
They've conspired to try it before.
Yeah. I mean, everything is so fucked, dude. It's just like, whatever. I don't know.
It's almost kind of in a weird way, it's like a relief. You just, the only thing I can focus on is just being a good person and doing my thing.
My dumb little life. That's all you can focus on. Your dumbass, stupid little life. And after that, everything else is kind of a wash, You just, I mean, everybody gets mad at like dumb people who just do that, but really those people have the right answer. They're just having a good time. They go to their job. They get fucked up on the weekends, try to fuck somebody. Like, that's not a bad life. Just fucking hang out. What are you going to solve? You're not going to solve shit. What the fuck are you going to do? Just chill. That's the plan now, I think. go to the woods, hang out.
Don't need a cause all the time.
No, any cause is what are you doing for the cause? What is anybody doing for the cause anymore? Nothing, dude.
The movement,
man. The movement. Every person who ends up at the top of the movement is just they're always full of shit anyways. Didn't the BLM lady end up with like 8 houses, bro?
Yes.
Remember her? She ended up with like 8 houses. And then people were like, where did you get all this money? And it was just like magic. Definitely wasn't from all the donations that were coming in over the years. God damn. That's got to be crazy. That's got to be crazy to be that corrupt. To be like, all these people donated all this money because they saw a problem, and then you ended up just with a bunch of properties. Ah, yeah. But that's a great grift. Because the people's hearts are in it, and they really believe in you. You know, that's the money you got to get. That's an ongoing thing.
Have you seen the movie Imperium with Daniel Radcliffe?
I have not.
It's pretty good. I watched it last night. It's about he's an FBI agent, and he goes undercover with like
Black Lives Matter.
No, neo-Nazi like white supremacists.
He's just in blackface the whole time. Harry Potter, Harry. Why you have all that shit on your face, Harry?
Wingardium Leviosa, motherfucker. No, he...
Bam. Yeah, he's holding his wand to the side now. Hey, I don't play no games. I play no games. Harry Potter plays no games, Voldemort. Yeah. Damn, Harry Potter. Yeah, is anybody doing blackface in that world?
In Harry Potter?
Are there racial injustices in the Harry Potter world? I mean, I feel like when magic is around, you kind of are all like, well, we're all magical. Like, are people mad at black wizards in the fucking... I don't know enough about the Harry Potter world. Like, are they...
I think there's some black kids at Hogwarts. Isn't there?
Yeah.
In the movie?
I don't know. I didn't even see all the movies. I wasn't like a huge fan. I read a few of the books and then I kind of gave up on them. But I don't know. I mean, is someone saying some like... Are there like wizard slurs? Are there like slurs for like black wizards? You would hope that once magic was on the table, you know, you would hope that once magic was on the table, would be like, well, we obviously don't need race anymore because we're fucking magic. Like that's like a fucking human muggle shit. That's muggle shit. Is like at this point we can all do magic. So why are we giving a fuck about any of this other stuff?
Wasn't muggle a slur? Didn't they use
muggle
that
meant just... Did muggle mean human?
I think
I thought it was like
means
wizards and muggles.
Muggle is non-magic people.
Yeah.
Like
but I mean, that's
people.
just a slur against... That's like... I mean, sure, I guess, but no human is ever going to know anyways because they're never going to meet a wizard.
True.
I'm talking wizard on wizard hate here, you know? I mean, is there like a clan in Harry Potter world? They fly on brooms with fucking bed sheets? I mean, I can't imagine this exists. I mean, they just hate each other because someone has better spells and shit. But I don't think it's racial. But who knows? I don't know. I mean, do people hate gay wizards? Like, are there gay wizards in Harry Potter?
Isn't Dumbledore gay?
I don't know. I never knew any, and I don't know enough about this.
I read all those books when they came out, but I thought there was something about Dumbledore being gay.
Is he just kissing another man wizard? He's old as fuck, dude. No one wants to think about those old bodies intertwining. Some young, hot, gay wizard action. I don't want some old man gay shit. Yeah, well, we got to know. We have to know if this is real. But anyways, this is about Harry Potter being a Nazi, correct? This movie?
Oh, yeah, the movie. Harry Potter's an undercover FBI agent.
Oh, okay.
You'd probably like it. It's a good movie. I enjoyed it. Never heard of it before. But there's a lot of people in the cause. They kept calling it the cause. And I was just thinking, like, when do you guys work? When do you like clean your house? When do you get shit done? You're just doing this stupid
This is the cause of the white national order, the cause?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, when do you guys...
isn't it crazy?
Do you guys, like, walk your dog ever? You're always doing the cause.
Yeah, they walk it in the white neighborhoods, dude. The dog is part of the cause too. Yeah, dude, the cause, man, though, the cause is sexy. Don't you understand that? The cause, the capital T, capital C, the cause is sexy. It has sex appeal no matter where it comes from or what it is. I was part of the cause. I was a fucking little socialist in my mid-20s, and people would be into that. They would be like, oh, you like stand for something. Like, it was like having a reason that's beyond you is sexy, is hot. People want to fuck that.
Yeah. Gives
people
you
like
greater
gives
significance.
you a purpose. Gives you a purpose greater than your insignificant life.
Sure. But
Even
does
if
it though?
It does. 100% it does.
But couldn't you just be really into like going to Comic-Con and that's your greater purpose? Making your costume for every Comic-Con?
Sure, some people do that.
Is that a cause?
But I don't know if that's a cause. What is that doing for the world? The cause is like world shaping. It enters into the practice of the world will be different once the cause has been achieved. You know? No, I don't think the world really changes if you're a great Comic-Con. It needs to have stakes, as in there is some type of battle going on. No one's really trying to stop Comic-Con, but they are trying to stop the progress of the white ethno-state, which is good that they have a wizard on their side to help them with their cause in that movie. But yeah, I think you need like an enemy. A cause needs an enemy.
An enemy?
You have to have some type of enemy. Because what's a cause without somebody...
What about feeding the homeless? Is that a cause? What's the enemy there?
That is a cause. I think that's a cause, but I feel like that's why that cause... That's like a different type of cause. We're talking about a cause that's like a philosophy. It's a worldview, you know?
Okay.
Feeding the homeless that's like, yes, that is like a good deed, but it's not really like, when you have a cause in your brain, your entire belief system is built around that. So like if Harry Potter's a Nazi, he's like, hey, the Jews control the media, the fucking blacks are ruining our neighborhoods, you know, these fucking wetbacks are coming into the fucking all that shit. They have like a whole place for everybody. Feeding the homeless, I think, is just like, oh, there's people who need food and I'm gonna help them. That's not really like a worldview.
Okay.
But
if
you have a whole
worldview is different.
I think it's just, that's why it's intoxicating. It's like fun to be a part of that. You're in like a secret club, dude.
Okay.
Remember at QAnon? Can you imagine all the people who have like Q flags and like T-shirts still? That shit is just falling off harder than fucking Pokemon.
I saw a Q sticker on a truck in Florida last weekend. Still. Last weekend I saw this.
But it's probably just because they can't scrape it off. Those are hard to get off once you put them on, dude. I don't know. The Q thing, I think, is just kind of over. Like, everybody just kind of laughs at it now. It used to be so big. Like 2 years ago, I was interviewing QAnon members, and now it's just like, whatever. Like, it's just so laughable. It was like totally disproven. They made a whole documentary and pretty much found the guy who did it. He was just some guy on the internet who was, I don't even know if he believed it or he just wanted to make fun of people. But yeah. I mean, dude, I remember going to those rallies and they have these giant, like, flaming Qs, like the letter Q made of fire on a flag that they would, like, hold around. And I'm like, where is that flag right now? Is that just, like, in your garage?
Yeah.
Like,
did
you have to throw it out? Yeah, like, are you embarrassed? Or are you just like, oh, shit, I spent a lot of money on... I mean, dude, flags had a big couple of years, dude.
For sure. Flags had a moment.
Flags had a fucking moment, dude. Like, I would go to those rallies. I would see all sorts of flags. And, just whoever was... And they were all probably made in China, which is fun. But flags really had a huge moment for a few years where the Don't Tread on Me, the Blue Lives Matter, the Q, the fucking Trump, all Trump's flags... I don't feel like the left is a flaggy type of people. I think flags are much more right wing type of crowd. The float of the left wing flag you see. The left wing flags you see are remember that planet Earth image? You'll see that outside of like a hippie house.
Oh yeah, love that.
I guess there's the rainbow flag. So that's okay.
I wanted to put one of those in front of my house, the planet, but the lady said no.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Why did I want to?
No, why did you say no?
Oh, I think she just thinks it's trashy. But yeah, that is definitely like the most left-wing flag.
Yeah, that is like, so there are some flags. I'm trying to think. But like the Biden,
dove.
No one.
There's a dove.
Yeah, there's a dove one. No one had like a Biden flag though, did they? I seen a bunch of Trump flags. I don't think I ever saw a Biden flag.
No.
We had those. The left had those signs that was like, in this house, science is real, and those are, so maybe the left is more of like a sign people. BLM sign.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe the right wing just really likes
pride
to
flags.
Represent their shit. Yeah, I really feel like it's pride flag is probably the biggest flag the left has.
Don't tread on me. That was big. Like that was like what 2015.
Don't tread on me was huge.
Tea Party. Yeah, when was that? Was that
Yeah, the Tea Party came around, and then they kind of stuck. The Don't Tread on Me stuck around. I saw those. Don't Tread on Me was
no
fun.
Step on Snake.
Yeah, don't step on the snake. Yeah, man, flags were huge. So, I mean, that was one of the few industries that COVID didn't ravage. It actually upped the flag production. Everybody had flags. And you're also, I don't know, holding a flag by yourself is kind of dumb looking. You're just like a little rally girl.
Yeah.
But
it's just hard to imagine being that impressionable as an adult.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. But like also it's kind of like, damn, like they have a whole crew now. That's nice. You know? Like they have a little group. That's what they want. They want a little group. I remember I interviewed some Boogaloo boys and they had a Bitcoin flag. They had like the Bitcoin symbol on a flag and they were like, Bitcoin. This was way before Bitcoin was like a fad. It was just like, we got to get on Bitcoin. Like that way the government can't run the money. I remember that. I remember interviewing them and they had a Bitcoin flag.
Those guys were puzzling.
Yeah, the Boogaloo Boys also came and went. Also groups, a lot of groups came and went over the last few years. Groups were big a few years ago. Groups, I guess flags come from groups, so it's just an offset of groups. But yeah, groups. Proud Boys, Boogaloo Boys, Antifa, BLM, all the groups, and now they just kind of like, you don't really hear about any of these groups anymore. They're just kind of gone. I mean, all of them were mostly federal agents, I guess, so they had other shit to do, but half of them were feds on each side, I guess. But yeah, man. You don't see. Maybe we'll get some good groups coming up in the 2024 election. We'll get some new groups and some new flags.
I think we're good.
Yeah, but people, that's like a universal, man. People love to gather. They love to group and gather. They're ready to go.
Trivia, poker, go for a run.
Bowling leagues, you know, have something else. But
we don't need to be overthrowing something to hang out.
Yeah. And you're not going to overthrow either way. That's the real lesson here, is that you won't overthrow. You'll just kind of hang out and you'll feel cool for a while. And that is that's what the original point of this all was. Having a cause is cool. It feels cool. You feel cool. You feel like you have power. You feel like you're part of something bigger than yourself. That's why people go to church. Is they're like, it's not just me. I am alleviated of the fucking stress. Dude, when I was fucking high on balls, I just kept being like, isn't it crazy we're trapped behind this face? That's
You writing a Tool song?
Yes. It's you're outside of yourself in a group. You don't have to think about your little life. You're like, oh my God, yes. It's like me and Jesus, or me and this cause, or me and that cause. I got my buddies. I got my flag. I got our chants. I got our little things. And then, you know, you feel better about yourself, I think. So we'll have some good groups coming up. We'll have some good groups, some good flags. We'll have a good time. It'll be just fine.
The UFOs will keep falling, the trains will keep crashing, and everyone will have their group.
Yep. Life will be good, folks. Hope your life is good, folks. We hope your life is great. We want you to do well out there. We want you to support yourself and support this show. Go give us a 5-star review and rating. How about that? Start there.
Wave that flag, will you?
Yeah, make a flag on my dumb face. How about that? And put it outside your fucking house. Jack, we didn't start at the beginning, but we want to do a Q&A episode.
Oh yeah.
At some point. So we're going to I should have set up what I want to do is I want to set up like a Google number so then they can just text and I won't know who they are, cuz DMs and emails and all this shit, like I'm going to know potentially who you are. So I'll set up a Google number, but yeah, we want to start collecting some Q&As, some questions, and I'll do a full Q&A episode at some point. So next time I'll set something up so we can do that. This comes out, this is Friday. I don't really have much on the calendar until March. March I'll be with Canaan in Albany, and then I'll be in Boise for the Treefort Music Festival. So if you're in either of those locations or you know people are there, tell them to come on out. But beyond that, I'm just fucking grinding away here in New York City. Again, go share something on that Instagram. See if we can get it out of the fucking doghouse. It's not doing well. And beyond that, folks, no really closing words. Just have a good time out there. If you see a UFO, maybe just wave at it and see if it does something for you instead of fucking throwing something at it. Jack, you have anything? Anything coming up?
No.
You just got to build that house of yours out there on the plains.
Yep.
Jack's just working, folks. All right, well, we also have a couple guests coming up, a couple guest episodes coming up that should be fun. So look out for that. We have a nurse who's also a comedian that he's going to tell me. He told me he's going to drop some extreme knowledge about the healthcare system and how fucked it is. So if you're into something like that, if you want to know how absolutely fucked you and your family are getting by the American healthcare system, I believe this guy has some choice words as an insider, as a nurse. So look for that in a few weeks, and hopefully a few other guests I'm trying to line up. But thanks for the support, guys, and we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.